John Cena faces backlash after addressing the Vince McMahon allegations. Plus, Randy Orton reveals his reaction to CM Punk's WWE return. And we have an update on an absent AEW star. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So John Cena was on Howard Stern yesterday, and he was asked about the Vince McMahon allegations. It's a very popular topic for obvious reasons that comes up anytime any WWE stars do any interviews outside of WWE. Cena had a long-standing friendship and has a long-standing friendship with Vince McMahon. He's been spotted at functions with Vince outside of WWE in years gone by. Stern and he had a big discussion about it, and Howard Stern talked about how he had friends that he no longer wanted to associate with, and how he morally rationalizes ending friendships with people who have done or have alleged to have done bad things. And he kind of turned it to Cena and said, like, how are you getting on with all of that?
Yeah, Cena spoke about his feelings currently towards McMahon in the wake of the allegations, and he said, I don't think it's complicated to talk about. I think it's complicated to listen to, and that's why I kind of don't necessarily put a lot of time and equity into it. I can say this, I'm a big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication, but in the same breath, I'm also a big advocate of accountability. I think you explained it well, of if someone's behavior lies so far outside your value system that the balance shifts of like, man, I can't operate in a world where this works. That's the end result of being accountable.
Right now, he goes on to say, what I'm gonna do is love the person I love, be their friend. There's the saying, you don't know who your friends are until it hits the fan or your back is against the wall. Doesn't make what's going on any easier to swallow. But just telling somebody, I love you, this is going to be a hill to climb, we're going to see what happens, and that is it. It sounds so cliche, but it has to be one day at a time. But at the same token, I've openly said, I love the guy, I've got a great relationship with the guy, and that's it. He says the whole thing is super, super unfortunate. That's really the thing that sucks, because not only does it deal with an individual I love, it deals with an entity I love. I want everyone to have the experience I had. If you're an employee at Disneyland, you want everyone to go to Disney and think it's the greatest place on earth. When someone doesn't, or when you find out there may or may not have been things going on there that you weren't aware of. This place I was speaking about was so great, and some aspects it needs a lot of work. That's more than just how do I feel about this person. Now I shift to, okay, am I doing all I can to make it better? From the advice of this, work as hard as you can and promote as hard as you can. Is there anything I can do? So not only do I tell my friend I love them, I also switch to the entity and say, how can I help?
And obviously following the interview, John Cena was trending on social media following its release due to backlash online from fans too and industry people alike. Many have said that his comments about loving the person I love and saying facing the allegations are like climbing a mountain come across as tone deaf, considering the gravity of the allegations themselves. They also come across as lacking empathy for those allegedly involved, and I think I agree with that as well.
I think it's interesting use of the word love so often in this, and it's worth pointing out as well that until these face a court of law, they are allegations. They are awful to read about. That 67-page court document makes appalling reading. We've seen and heard statements and unreleased affidavits from other people who are connected with Vince McMahon, and the allegation seems to continue. But until there's a court of law, they are still allegations. So John Cena is kind of looking at it from that point. However, as you say, in the grander scheme of things, the nature and the gravity of these allegations, whether going out and saying so proudly, I love this man, is the right thing to do. John Cena thinks how John Cena thinks. I do want to quickly mention, just before we move on from the Howard Stern bit. So I haven't watched any of Howard Stern's interviews in a while. If I listen to Howard Stern, I tend to listen rather than watch. And I can't get over the setup in the studio, in the sense that John Cena looks like he's sat in a different postcode to Howard Stern. Like, I haven't seen the thing. I've heard the voice clip, and it doesn't feel like an organic conversation when you look at it like that. It's Howard Stern sat at the desk with all his monitors around him, and John Cena sat on a sofa like someone's built a Sims house and run out of money. And he's just sat like really far away. It was just I listened to it and then I watched it, and I don't know why the visual just took me out of it a little bit. I was just like, that does not look like it almost looks like a conversation that you would have in your head when you meet your partner's father for the first time. What are your plans with my daughter? It's that. It's a weird setup. I wanted to bring it up. Randy Orton has also had some comments to make around the allegations, and he gave them when he spoke to Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, he said, I've got to say this. I wouldn't be where I am, without Vince McMahon taking a chance on me a handful of times. I would not be where I am today without Vince McMahon. But I'm reading this S. What you've seen and read, I've seen and read. As far as commenting on that, it effing hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. Orton also went on to speak glowingly, though, about the new direction of the company, with Triple H leading creative and Nick Khan as president, saying, I'm very happy with the changes. I'm very happy that Nick Khan, Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, and all those guys are proving they mean what they say. The company changed and they care about the talent. I think everybody feels the same way.
Now, in this interview, Orton went on to also discuss Survivor Series, his return, and the CM Punk return as well. It turns out, and it was something that he found out about on the same night. He says, the day of Survivor Series, I'm about to get my boots on, I'm feeling the nerves, it's been a year and a half. Triple H told me a couple of things, and then he went, one more thing, Punk's returning tonight. I thought he was effing with me. I was so excited for this surprise return. That's never really been the case. They've always kind of they'd already stooged off the fact that I was returning. They wanted those views, so I'd never have that surprise return. I could have been really upset, or B word, and old Randy would have been. It was a defining moment for me. I went out there, we had a great War Games match, everybody was excited, and that I returned. Everybody was excited that Punk returned, and neither return stepped on each other. It was a testament to how much I've grown. It would have been an issue only if I'd made it one. So I was proud of the way I handled it.
Yeah, what a guy.
I feel like, because we weren't sure, because when that happened and it was sort of coming out that the Punk return had been kept a closely guarded secret. A lot of us were like, are people upset about this? Because there was the story that Drew had stormed off after Survivor Series and all this stuff. So there was a lot of that. And it's interesting that Randy was like, do you know what? If this had been me a few years ago, I probably would have kicked off.
Well, there was like the clips of it as well, where in the ring, like from a fan's perspective in the ring, Orton was doing like his gesture. And then at the other end where Punk was on the ramp, Punk was like doing his gesture as well and being like, oh, it's nice to see you. It seems to be something that a lot of people talk about. I know Cody's spoken about it in the past as well, of like how they've come back, and Randy Orton just seems like a completely different person now. And really I think it goes to show too. I think it really does go to show. He seems very much calmer these days and a lot more wanting to sort of give back to talent now, which is cool.
Basically, yeah. From good old Randy Orton to good old JR. A Jim Ross update for you. We know that he's been out with injury and a few things to sort in his personal life, but he shared the nature of his recent injury on Twitter last night.
Yeah, he said, first full day on Jack's beach and out of the rehab facility. Using a cane now, improving daily. Broken hip responding well. Excited for my future with AEW. Back at the start of the month, JR revealed that he'd undergone some cancer surgery on his right hip, but he didn't mention his hip being broken at the time.
So JR's been through the wars, and we'll see him back in AEW at some point very, very soon, we hope.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, it always feels like every time we talk about JR, he's coming back from some sort of injury or something, bless him, but he's an absolute trooper at the end of the day, isn't he?
He is a trooper. He certainly is. From JR coming back to an unknown comeback for an AEW star. We're talking about Ring of Honor television champion Kyle Fletcher. He's been missing recently. He hasn't wrestled since Dynamite on January 31st, and conspicuous by his absence on ROH TV. Fightful Select give an update saying that Kyle Fletcher is currently facing visa issues and hasn't been able to perform for AEW or Ring of Honor. He was poised for a program with Ethan Page for the ROH TV title, so we were told that's obviously paused until Kyle Fletcher gets his business sorted. I remember watching that Survival of the Sickest match for the TV title, and Kyle Fletcher didn't strike me as one of the front runners to win it, but when he did, I went, that's a great shout.
That's a great shout. It's nice, sort of like with the Eric and Ivar situation in WWE, it's nice to see that when one tag team partner is out, that person doesn't necessarily just get pushed to the back. Like, it's nice to see that they're pushing Kyle Fletcher. Unfortunate for the visa issues. You would hope, obviously, that that's being sorted out as fast as possible. Obviously, with Will Ospreay coming back soon too, it would kind of be nice to have everybody sort of back together, United Empire. So yeah, hopefully everything gets sorted out and we can get back on track for Fletcher very soon.
All the friends back together again, please. Thank you. Sound Driver's on Twitch tonight. It's Marble Mania. If you fancy getting a bit of marbles with Sound Driver, it's twitch.tv/Cultaholic from 6 p.m. GMT. Heading into a massive weekend of WWE. Elimination Chamber Perth. Good day, Cobber. Is Saturday morning from 9 a.m. GMT. Adam and Andrew are doing live reactions to it. Are you excited?
Very excited. We'll have whole rows of Fosters because we know the Australians love Fosters, right?
They love a Fosters.
They invented it and everything. They love it. So we'll have them all lined up, ready to chug along with you at 9 a.m. in the morning UK
If
time.
there is nothing that Australians love more, is when you drink a Foster's with a hat with corks in it.
Of course. They love it.
That.
They love it.
And they love Gunter. He's their
do.
favourite wrestler. Oh, hang on, he's Austrian, isn't he?
No.
Is he Austrian or Australian?
Australian.
Are they the same? I don't know. Geography. What happened at and the WTF moments to follow from Elimination Chamber as well. And for the very latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Keys.
I love you. Bye.